Welcome back to my channel. I would like to share with you two of the primary tools that are used against us chosen ones and seers and high priestesses when we're on our spiritual journey as a part of this spiritual warfare. The main two are gang stalking, and that also encompasses humiliation rituals and just slander and all those sorts of things, anything that is like a form of defamation of your character. And then the second is judicial abuse and corruption. So essentially, I wanted to kind of draw reference to how these tools were utilized in my life, just to also validate my experience so that others who are watching this and who may also be going through the same things can, I guess, have a better understanding of why this is happening and what you can do to kind of counteract that. So as it pertains to the gang stalking and the slander, etc., oh my God. I experienced a significant degree of humiliation rituals through my divorce trial. I also experienced it within my own family, with my mother, my stepfather, half brother, half sister, friends of family that I was close with, mutual friends of my former spouse and I. All of a sudden, when I embarked on my spiritual journey and I started to recognize certain traits within that family dynamic, and this is what happens as a seer, you'll recognize things that you didn't see before. I recognized that they were working with my ex-spouse against me. And when I started to recognize this and I brought it up, all of a sudden, they casted me out. They started to call me a whole bunch of names. They basically, they embarked on this slander campaign against me, and they isolated themselves from me. They gaslit me. They had no interest in, any form of remediation efforts. It was just about casting me out. And I want to tell you why this happens. This happens because God is utilizing their resistance towards you as a way of you learning to have enough courage to kind of stand your ground and stand true to how you feel and what the Most High is telling you. Because when you have this gift, you really have to be resilient enough to be able to withstand the judgment of others. Because a lot of people are not going to want to admit the things that you see within them. And so they will push back on you constantly. A lot of people don't want to accept certain aspects of themselves. And so they will resist that in a format where they will kind of reject you. So what the Most High is doing by allowing these humiliation rituals and slander campaigns, particularly amongst people that you consider close to you, because of course that dynamic is going to make it even more difficult for you, is so that you can really build that tolerance and that trust in the Most High and understanding the significance of your gifts. And the second one that I wanted to reference was the judicial abuse. And I'm going to draw a reference to a recent trial that I have actually just came out of probably about a month ago, where there was no evidence to support decisions that the judge made. But I do want to let you know how significant of a disparity it was of his judgment call. He made a judgment call whereby I, as a member of an LLC that I own, would be personally taking on $125,000 of the business's expenses. You heard that. $125,000 of the business's expenses. He said that I would have to take that on in a form of punishment for being for my inability to pay a past due bills. That was punishment, essentially. And in addition to that, there were many judgment calls as it pertained to my divorce trial, whereby I was punished with taking on the majority of all the debts. So this is a form of judicial abuse. And in addition to that, during the course of the trial, which by the way lasted probably about 4 years, I was forced to endure several humiliation rituals. I was forced to endure the sorry, the considerable legal costs associated with obviously a 4-year trial. And then I'm trying to think, was there anything else significant about that trial? No, I just think primarily it was the fact that I had to attend numerous trials, which I would like to define as humiliation rituals in of themselves, because I was basically in front of a judge where the opposing counsel would just bring up everything that they possibly could to use against me in a way where I would be punished in terms of my character, and I would be punished financially. And I feel as though these tactics are used also in terms of building my resilience my resilience in the Most High, because at the end of the day, in spite of all of the things that they did to tarnish my character and to try and ruin my reputation, God has always created avenues for me to still be able to be successful in my own right. And God has always navigated me out of the situations and has built a level of self-confidence within myself that in spite of what these so-called authoritarian institutions have said, whether it be through judgments, through legal judgments, or verbally, I still have a level of self-respect, integrity. My values and principles have not been compromised, and I still operate with the understanding that the Most High is in control of everything. And if He has allowed this to happen, He has allowed this to happen for my highest good. So these are the reasons why God allows for these types of somewhat traumatic, challenging experiences to occur in the lives of seers and high priestesses and people who define themselves as the chosen ones. So if you find yourself going through these types of challenges, my advice to you is to recognize that these are opportunities for you to transmute that energy, and to recognize that these experiences are only allowing for you to ascend and become more comfortable with yourself and utilizing your spiritual gifts for the Most High. And then also, what really worked for me was tarot readings. I mean, I am very grateful for so many of the wonderful tarot readers out there who help to validate my experience by showing me it through the cards. You know, a lot of the things that I was going through with it, just like I said earlier, it seems surreal. Like, you're just like, how is this happening? Like, this isn't the way the world is supposed to function. These aren't the rulings that you typically see in a court case. Like, why is there so much chaos? And it just didn't make sense. And what happened was, when I was able to find peace and validation and inspiration in the tarot readings, because they validated my experience. I recognized, hey, this really was going on. And then they also helped to give me a different perspective in terms of how to manage it. Okay, well, I hope that helps. I was told by my spirit guides to come on here and share this message, and I hope that it inspires you.